Chris Paul and the Suns' revenge tour continues against the undermanned Spurs. Suns lost by 26 to San Antonio in the last meeting today, with Book taking care of business early. They win game number 50 on the season. Now we wait, but TC got his wish, a blowout, and the chance for Chris Paul and Devin Booker to rest in the second half. Welcome to Suns Live Postgame, presented by Sweet James. And quickly, the turnaround now, after losing by 26 to the Spurs, and the victory margin here, 63-point turnaround from the last time. Suns and Spurs.
Your mathematician is just stellar.
Help from Mark Goldberg, man. He needed the calculator. This is what you wanted, though, right?
It absolutely is. I mean, these guys, want to keep them, fine-tuned, but it's so nice to sit over there as a starter and rest and cheer on these guys that have been working so hard all year long. And it didn't happen nearly enough times this season, but it's nice to see it right now.
Mark Goldberg hopefully working on bench production, all the points off the bench. I didn't have time for that. Let's take a look at the standings, though, and tell you that if the Suns win again tomorrow in San Antonio against the Spurs, and if, it's a big if, the Jazz were to lose in Sacramento to the undermanned Kings, Suns could still be number one. So we just have to continue to wait to see who their first-round opponent is. We'll be watching the Lakers, who beat Indiana today. They take on New Orleans. Blazers lose to Denver tomorrow. Lakers win. Lakers are number 6. Are you still with me, Tom Chambers?
I am.
I'm kind of confused.
And the thing is, I've been looking at this thing for a week, and every day it just gets foggier. But it's gonna. I mean, I can't imagine that. Well, Portland could lose to Denver, but does Denver really want to win? And then do they rest Jokic for the first time all season long? It's just a lot of things could happen.
All right, if you were a betting man, FanDuel pick 'em right now. Who do the Suns face in the first round?
Lakers.
It's going to be the Lakers. It's kind of pretty much everybody thinks. All right. And TC was thinking that the Suns needed a hot third quarter start. They were up by 21. Didn't want to mess around with the Spurs team. Just undermanned and didn't even have their head coach. So 11-0 run to start the third quarter. Game over.
Terrific. Yeah. Just, getting the ball off of their defense. And when that falls for you, things are good. Devin was a little like, oh, wow, that went in right there. Dario going inside. Chris Paul looking for him, trying to get him fired up. They're going to need him desperately in the playoffs. But Chris Paul was masterful once again out there. I mean, he just plays the game the right way, and he's just fun to watch. And Devin, too. I mean, they only had to play, 7 minutes in the second half?
Yep, exactly. Yeah, that's the last thing you want to see, is one of them rolling an ankle in a game like this.
Absolutely. And so they went out, they played hard the first 5 or 6 minutes you mentioned, and they did exactly what they needed to do.
All right, let's go to Kevin Ray. He's with Mikal Bridges.
All right, big win today for the Suns. Mikal Bridges kind enough to join us here. Mikal, first off, congratulations not only on the win, but you win 50th game of the season, and you do so in a 72-game slate. Can you just talk about the overall impact of that?
Yeah, we're just playing hard, man, playing together. We're just together as a team, man. We play for each other, and we just got in there playing our way.
You claim a division crown as well with the Clippers loss last night. How much was said or discussed about having claimed the team's 7th division title in team history?
We really didn't talk about it too much. We were excited. Obviously, we're not going to take it for granted, but we was really worried about today. Coming out here playing hard, trying to get this win, and just trying to finish the regular season strong.
I know Monty has talked a lot with you guys in the last week about coming out with a more focused and more intent effort. Looked like that was the case today, with the exception of maybe a little 5-minute push by the Spurs in the second quarter. You guys really handled your business from start to finish. Yeah,
for sure. We just staying with it. Coach Pop, his and coaching staff, how they get the guys ready, they're not going to stop playing. So that was the biggest focus. I know we had a big lead, but just keep fighting, because they're not going to stop. They're not going to give up. And they made a push, but, we stayed to it and just.
As for you, what has been the difference, if any at all, over the last 2 weeks? Because you have somehow elevated your level of play on both ends of the floor, but even more so offensively, adding more of the handle and more of that mid-range game.
Just keep working. Just keep working out. Keep working on my game. Just not relaxing. I know it's a long season. Just staying in the gym and stay working on my game and just staying ready. Really, that's what it really is.
All right, my man. Well, congratulations on the win. One final stop tomorrow there on that same floor, and then on to the playoffs.
All right, thank you.
Mikal Bridges, 18 points of the Suns roll over the Spurs today, pick up their 50th win of the season. Guys, we'll send it back to you.
It's not Mikal Bridges, it's the Warden. We're going to have to check Basketball Reference to see if they put that nickname on there.
Did K-Ray give him that one?
I believe so.
He did.
Yeah, it's solid. Works. First half highlights, the interim head coach for the Spurs in this one, Mitch Johnson. Yeah, we had to look him up too. An assistant from Stanford who was scouting the Suns, so they tabbed him as the interim coach instead of Becky Hammond, and Mikal putting on a show early.
Yeah, he really was. I mean, all of them. Chris was playing great. Devin was playing great. Mikal was playing great early, and that's how they built that big lead. Unfortunately, they let a little bit of that slip away, but to end the second half, or end the first half, and to start the second half, they were really good.
So again, this game is important to the Suns. They still have that outside chance of being the #1 seed. As a veteran, for you know, when you look at Book and Chris Paul, I mean, you want to expend the energy and be sharp, but also, like I said, you don't want to get hurt in a game like this.
No, you don't want to get hurt. Yeah, you absolutely do not. But, you know, it's nice to win. And like I said, it's nice to keep finely tuned. And those guys are playing great basketball. You know they're going to be ready. They're going to get a week off, so they'll have plenty of time to rest up. But, yeah, you want to keep playing and doing what you can, getting everybody clicking. And, you know, there's guys that need to get playing really better. You know, playing Dario extra time, you know, getting Frank ready. I mean, so those minutes for those guys that don't get regular rotation time are very, very important in games like this.
Yeah, that's a big silver lining for the Suns. The minutes for Dario Saric as Ayton sits out his second game. The Suns 19-8 run to finish off that first half. Now second half highlights. They score the first 11 points with Ayton sitting out his second straight. That knee soreness. We'll see whether or not he gets some minutes tomorrow. Another 10:30 pregame show, 11 a.m. tip start.
Well, you just see the Suns team start the second half.
Speaking of tip.
That was great. Just getting after it defensively makes things go for their offense. When they're playing really good defense, which they have done for the most part, their offense just clicks. So they've got to get out and get after them, and good things will happen. Devin Booker, good things always happen when Devin Booker is going to the basket. I mean, he's just so good. And played really hard. And this is a game where the Suns could have lost their focus because, like, who's San Antonio playing, you know?
I'd love to go into the huddle. Mitch Johnson in the fourth quarter. Come on, guys. I'm going to be 0-1, and I'm losing by 40
We're down
points.
40, yeah.
It's not going to look good on my resume.
I'll tell you what, though, Frank and Torrey and the guys, I mean, they got after it on the glass, and Sir Langston came in there. E'Twaun Moore was really good when he came in. So it's nice to see these guys are keeping themselves ready in case they are needed. And that guy right there, he may be needed in the playoffs. They may need a big three, and he's going to be able to knock that shot down.
Rosen was out, DeJounte Murray, Jakob Poeltl, Rudy Gay. None of those guys playing for the Spurs, already locked into the 10th seed and a play-in game as we're joined now by EJ Eddie Johnson. Way to fight through this one on a Saturday morning. Edward, this one got out of hand early, but exactly what the doctor ordered for the Suns team.
I've never heard Eddie tell so many stories as he did during this game. It was just it was story time.
In a rocking chair on the game.
Hi, Eddie.
Cue Eddie. What do you want me to talk about? Eubanks hit the jumper when they're down 40.